Can't decide which keyboard to buy? That's why I'm here. Today I'll walk you through 4 of Epomaker's Bluetooth hot swappable options and help you decide which one is the best overall value. By the time you're done watching this, you'll know which one to pick, and if you don't, I'll eat my sock because it's not even close. With that, let's dive in. Greetings mate, welcome aboard. Stuart Charles here, HomeStudioBasics.com, helping you make sound decisions. So, big thank you to Epomaker for sponsoring this shootout. They were kind enough to send me some amazing tech and I want to discuss it now. All 4 of these keyboards are what is known as hot swappable, meaning you can easily change or replace individual switches without soldering, enabling customization and adjustment of the typing experience to suit your own personal preferences. The percentage number, i.e. 65%, 70%, 75%, 95%, etc., refers to how close in size it is relative to a full-size keyboard. If you're like me and have large talons, the RT100 at 95% just about feels like those IBM keyboards from way back, when Windows 3.1 was an actual thing. Not only are the colors on point, but the clack is back as a matter of fact, and you know I can rap, so give me some dap.
Maximum bro fist.
While we're dirty dancing around the subject, let's learn more about the build quality and how they relate to each other in size. As you may well imagine, the 65% EK68 is the smallest out of the lot, looking like a Shadow X Jr. and donning a similar nifty color scheme of dark grays, blacks, and yellows nestled inside a brushed aluminum frame. On the underside of the unit, you'll find the built-in rubber feet and fold-out stands at varying heights. These features are included in all 4 of the models and are nice additions to the overall package. Speaking of big packages, inside the box you'll provide replacement keycaps, replacement switches, a keycap/switch puller, user manual, USB cable, and of course the keyboards themselves. The RT100 includes different key type options as well: Dawn Pink, Flamingo, Gatoron Pro, Yellow, Sea Salt Silent, and Wisteria Linear. These options vary across the 4 units that also include Shadow Black, Wisteria Tactile, Bluebird, Gatoron Pro Brown, Black, Red, and Budgerigar. I don't even know what that is. The box contents of all 4 models is roughly the same, but big shout out to Epomaker for manufacturing really solid looking cables in addition to very robust keyboards all around. Time will tell if the cables hold up, but you can rest assured that the unboxing feels super premium and a pleasant surprise at these varying low-ish price points. Speaking of price, the EK68, TH-80 Pro, and Shadow X will run you around $90, and the RT100 is top dog at around $120 or so, i.e. what I weighed as a freshman in high school. The off-white TH-80 Pro is most definitely for Apple Mac slobs, but if you actually want to be fancy, that's not the one to cop. Don't get me wrong, it's a great keyboard if you fit the demographic with its Mr. Clean aesthetic, aptly looking font, and loads of hipster minimalism. It does pretty much the same things as the rest of the keyboards, only not quite as cool.
You cool, man? Like how?
Speaking of things that are cool, did you know that all 4 of these keyboards
Light up and shit?
That's right, they do. For each unit, you can expect around 9 different modes and roughly 8 color options. Each keyboard has its own unique combination to cycle through the modes, and it's infinitely fun to play with as you can even adjust the speed and brightness. If you're feeling especially gay, who isn't, you can have all the colors cycle through in the color orgy of a lifetime. Just pay shipping and handling. There are key combinations for an array of different things, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to go through all of them. They're available in the user manual and everything is pretty straightforward. Battery life is okay, but I'm using these wired more often than not because I enjoy the colors staying on. In wireless mode, the unit sleeps after a couple of minutes of inactivity, in my opinion taking away from the overall appeal. In other words, the light show looks fantastic at night and makes a great addition to your studio setup. If the color modes are pretty much my favorite feature, my second favorite has to be the smart screen, a nifty gadget included with the Shadow X and RT100 exclusively. Just download some software, link below, and grab some Mario gifts from the old school video game vault, otherwise known as the internet, and take a trip down Nostalgia Avenue for a bit. Yeah mate, While the RT100's plug-in smart screen does have its quirks, overall it's a nice addition in my opinion, especially the more time I spend with it. The Shadow X's LCD screen is built into the keyboard and displays the actual names of various modes and colors. This adds a super personal touch as I start to feel connected to this thing.
That's the idea, Raz. That's the attitude.
Some caveats include the date will reset to the year 2000 after you've calibrated inside your app. The temperature will not show up as Fahrenheit even though they give you the option, and while technically not a con, bear in mind that the keyboard displays 24-hour military time. I would have preferred Suntory time, but you can't always get what you want.
Suntory time.
Even despite those quirks, I think the nostalgia box does add some flair to an otherwise pragmatic and essential device. And yeah, I'm talking about Rick.
Now you figure that out, smarty!
As my friend Mike put it, if you're having a bad day, just look down and there's 1991 Super Nintendo Nostalgia Train Mario running. The ability to switch gifts out depending on what mood I'm in is essential. Sometimes I want to finally remember Yoshi and how precious he was. Other times it's grrr, like Bowser. Or this guy. Or this really awesomely nerdy Mario who looks like he's on his way to the nearest library. As retro as the RT100 is, and it certainly delivers on that, the fact that they added Bluetooth to all four of these just seems like the cherry on top. In other words, if you have fat fingers that have trouble gracefully gliding across your phone's keys like me, you're in luck. Just pair the keyboard to your phone and write that novel you've been meaning to write, knowing full well it's going to be quite a while before they respond back. Wired mode varies a bit on each device, but all have a USB-A receiver in various compartments on the unit in question. With the RT100, simply pull it out of the top left cubbyhole and plug it into a USB slot on your computer. Now turn the keyboard to on. This is wireless mode. For wired mode, just flick the switch on the top of the keyboard to off and plug in the supplied
dummy thick
USB-C to USB-A cable. The placement of the slots and switches also varies on each unit, but overall, the layout of the RT100 stands out as everything is super easy to navigate and see. All four have a function knob as well. The RT100's EK68's and TH-80 Pro's knobs vary in size and shape, but they all play pause tracks inside Spotify and adjust the volume. The Shadow X's differs in that it's used to cycle through its various 5 modes from left to right, including USB-C wired, wireless 2.4G, Bluetooth red, green, blue, and a final turn for USB-C wired. Again. All in all, the RT100 is more intuitive, in my opinion, but your mileage may vary. Maybe just stick with the function knob as a play, pause, volume dial and add a way to skip tracks. Epomaker. That would be the bee's knees, as the convenience of the knob is pretty great for seamless workflow and fewer hang-ups while you're writing blog posts or scripts such as this one. All in all, which of these you go with depends entirely on personal preference, but I'm recommending the RT100 for obvious reasons. It's a full-size keyboard with a super cool retro theme and plenty of nostalgia to boot. Add in the smart screen, multifunction knob, intuitive layout, Bluetooth mode, and neat color options, and you've got all the makings of a near perfect product at a sensible price point. While the other keyboards are perfectly serviceable and have their place, the RT100 stands head and shoulders above simply due to its old school charm and irresistible clack the keys make. With it, I'm immediately transported back to a time when personal computers like my family's IBM PS1 were in their infancy. And yeah, I'm getting old. What of it? As it stands now, I'm going to give it a 95 out of 100 and a glowing endorsement. Click the above review to take a trip down memory lane or see it for yourself on Amazon. I'll leave links down below.